Today we are creating some incredible fall and Halloween DIYs using these $1 mugs from the Dollar Tree. I've already got a head start on these and painted them just a little bit. This is one of my favorite videos to creating these adorable little mugs, and you guys seem to really enjoy it. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. You have to stay tuned to see how these turned out. Okay, so for this first mug, I needed a white mug. Now, a big tip here is if you make any of these, always try to paint the inside. It's just going to protect the paint a lot more than getting scratched on the outside. And make sure that you do multiple coats so you're not seeing any of your brush strokes. I always like to mention that. And one of these styrofoam cupcake shaped pieces fit perfectly down inside of the mug. So I use that every time with a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place. And then I'm using a lightweight spackling that you can find at Dollar Tree, Walmart, a hardware store, very inexpensive. And I'm mixing that with a little bit of paint, or actually quite a bit of paint, to color that. But you have to get the consistency right. So I like to add just a few drops of water, stir it, make sure like it's a nice smooth icing consistency that's going to be able to pipe out of a piping bag. I just throw it in one of these Wilton bags that I have, but Dollar Tree does sell icing bags. I like to put a styrofoam ball that I cut down underneath my icing or my spackling, so that it holds it up. It has support. It's not just going to like be soft and fall down. And then it's time to do the fun things, which is decorate it. I found these cute little ghost ornaments at Dollar Tree, as well as some straws that I purchased off of Amazon. I always add glitter on top of the spackling icing or the faux icing because it hides all of the imperfections. And then you can just pretty much do whatever you want here. I just kept adding in little pieces that I had. I added in some real candy corn. These seem to last forever, so I thought they would be safe to use on here. And then using some puff paint as the icing, as well as some little confetti pieces that I decided to cut up just to get that color of purple to coordinate with the straw and add in so many extra details. I feel like you can't go wrong here just adding some fun things. I added in a bow just for a little decor on the handle, and then give him a little decorative touch on top like he had icing on his head, and then use some more puff paint just to look like it was dripping down out of the edges to give this the extra detail. But this is one of those that I didn't know if I was even going to like how this turned out, but it ended up being one of my favorites. The ghost just tops it off, but too cute, using a Dollar Tree mug. Next up, we are creating a really fun witch's brew mug. I started off by painting the mug black just so it kind of looked like a cauldron. Go ahead and do a couple of coats of that, and then using some more of my lightweight spackling, I like to mix just a drop of water. This bowl already had a little bit of too watery consistency icing in it, so I decided to add more. I keep saying icing, but all of this is just spackling. And then I had some of this pre-mixed paint pouring medium from the Dollar Tree, and it was a little bit watery, so I did have to add in more spackling before I use this in my icing bag. So I guess the actual paint itself works the best to color this. And then I put the styrofoam ball in, put my icing on, and how fun is this glittery witch hat? This come from the Dollar Tree. I just kind of bent it back and forth until it broke off short enough that I could push it down into my mug. I kind of put it to the side, and it had a bow on the stick, so I just pulled that off and put it right on top of the hat. So I am reusing the same ribbon, add some of my little sparkles, and then these are some items that I did get off of Amazon to decorate it, but you could use a hole punch and literally just cut out or punch out different color paper for sprinkles. I end up using paper sprinkles later on, but I really wanted some just fun little details to make this pop. I love these tiny little spiders. I made them look like they were trailing up the side of this. I should have glued some to the mug. I just thought of that, but that would be a cool idea to look like they're actually coming from the bottom to the top. And then use my Cricut to cut out witch's brew, but you can definitely just use white stickers here or leave it plain. But think this is so cute. I love the color of the green, like toxic potion, but turned out really fun. Okay, so if you're not into decorating too much for Halloween, but you want a really fun fall mug, this one is really fun, and it doesn't even have any pumpkins on it, but it still goes with fall, so you could use this all year if you wanted to. But I am using Territorial Beige. It's one of my favorite colors for anything s'mores, graham cracker, or like mocha color. It's just my favorite color. I buy it in the apple barrel paints usually, and I painted that inside the mug, added the cupcake styrofoam, and then using just plain white, I didn't even put a styrofoam ball in here. I just want it to look like a little bit of whipped topping so that I can push things down inside of this. Now, I did have a chocolate bar mold, and I did purchase that from Hobby Lobby, and then I purchased some of these chocolate colored hot glue sticks, which I'll have all of these supplies linked down in the description box if you want to go check out any of these. But I purchased the hot glue sticks from Amazon. I love having colorful hot glue sticks. You can just tell like how much more realistic it makes things rather than trying to paint them. And I wanted to make my own s'more to push in the top of this mug. So this will be the perfect cozy mug to represent all of those like campfire nights, making s'mores. So I'm actually making the graham cracker itself out of just 2 pieces of cardboard that I cut off one of my Amazon boxes that I got today. And then using my little chocolate bars, I have to cut one down to make a bigger piece of chocolate. And then I just found this square in my crafting stash. I'm pretty sure it came in like a 4-pack at Dollar Tree a while back, but anything would do. You could even use some air dry clay to make the marshmallow. But I'm trying to just play around with this and make some realistic looking crackers, as well as just putting this s'more together. I wanted to add this s'more in first. It was the biggest piece I was going to be adding in. I wanted to build on top of that. I want this to have so many fun details and really look like a full piece that I just put a lot of time and effort into. So I stuck the 2 extra little chocolate bars down in the front, and I do end up making an extra cracker a little bit later on and putting behind them. And then I was talking about the paper sprinkles earlier. I'm just taking some of my craft cardstock paper that I have on hand and cutting the tiniest little strips and making the tiniest little pieces so it looks like graham cracker crumbs. And then in the Dollar Tree Plus section a while back, I found this jar of sprinkles. It has these mocha colored heart sprinkles that I thought was perfect, so it brings and ties in all of those colors together. I just feel like this looks so cozy and perfect. I already have this setting in my kitchen because I love it that much. For this next project, I am leaving my mug clear and using some pressed flowers that I got from Amazon. I'll have them linked in the description once again, and just adding in some Mod Podge so that these flowers will glue to the edges. Now I want to turn this into a candle, and some people actually use wax, like using a little bit of wax to attach these to the sides, but I want this to be like as visible as possible, and sometimes the wax can get between the flower and the glass and it just doesn't show up very well. So I decided just to Mod Podge them, let this completely dry, add in a wick from one of these candles, and then I had a bunch of candles that just had a little bit in there, so I'm not using 3 candles to fill this up, just the excess wax that was in them. But how pretty are these flowers setting up after this candle sets up? The perfect fall colors and just one of my favorites. Alright, so on to the next project. I am starting with a black mug, and I am using one of these little skeletons from the Dollar Tree. How cute is he? These are called yoga skeletons, and they were just in different poses. Really funny, but I thought this was the perfect shape to put in one of these candles. I've seen these on Pinterest where people take some sort of skeleton and put it in a candle like it's kind of in a bathtub. So I thought this was perfect. I put Rest Your Bones. I used my Cricut, but you could use stickers or whatever you have on hand. And then I melted down some more candles. I added the wick in first and go ahead and kind of see where I wanted him to set before putting the candle in and let this set up. I did let it set mostly like 95% all the way, but then it was a tad bit soft, so I pushed him down into where I wanted it to go, and it did make the candle sink in a little bit, so I decided it would be even better if I did add in a little bit more wax, let it pull up over his legs a little bit and look like he's really inside of this candle. Let it set up, but how cute is this? Skeletons usually aren't my favorite, but I'll definitely be putting this out this year. And nothing says fall like going to Starbucks and getting their flavored drinks. I thought this would be really fun to make some faux Starbucks drinks on here. You could skip the Starbucks logo if you're just more into like a different brand or not wanting to brand this, and just leave it plain in the front. But these are really fun just to make them look like the favorite cozy drinks of the season. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. I just printed off the logo and added it to a piece of tape, or stuck a piece of tape over the top of it, and then cut around so there was a little bit excess hanging off the edges, and use this kind of like a sticker. This makes it waterproof and just a little bit more durable. But for the next one, I do end up hot gluing it on there just to try both methods and see which one I like. I added in my styrofoam piece in the bottom of the mug, as well as my half of a styrofoam ball to build this up. Now this one did mess up and I had to pull all the icing off and redo it. That's why it doesn't look perfect, but to save the day are these incredible white almost translucent sprinkles, or they're actually confetti, sold in the Walmart crafting section, but they're my favorite. I add it to that. It hides every imperfection. You don't even pay attention to them. I did put a little bit of the hot glue around the edges to make it look like the chocolate is dripping, and then I used a real Starbucks straw that I had picked up an extra one, so I cut it down so it was that perfect color and it matched the logo perfect. And then I wanted to make this in an orange version, so did pretty much the same exact thing, except I didn't add the like puff paint to the top, so it didn't have any icing or chocolate fudge on top. And then put in my cinnamon sticks, and these were really easy to do, but will look so fun in the kitchen, maybe on a tiered tray, but really cozy up any space.
Thank you all so much for checking out today's video. Let me know if you have any other ideas in the comments down below so that maybe I can use them for next year putting together this video. It's one of my favorite videos to create. Please leave me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Happy crafting! Bye!